Hey everyone, again, it's Brody here with our channel, Let's Table It. I have a copy of Viral sent to me by Arcane Wonders. It's a 2 to 5 player area majority game and it plays in an hour to an hour and a half. In this game, players will play as different viruses infecting a person. You are trying to spread out and mutate so that you can infect other organs in this person's body. Players gain points for creating a crisis in the organs and by controlling zones in the patient's body. Other viruses will be floating around in the body, affecting your virus as well as that human's immune system. Players play 8 rounds in the game, and each round has 6 phases or steps, and the first phase players play cards from their hand to perform actions. All players start with the same cards, but with time will gain different cards, giving players different abilities throughout the game. The starting hand of cards consists of 1 card for each zone. There are 6 zones total, so 1 card is the brain that has 1 organ, so 1 space on the board. Another card is the heart, which has 2 organs, the right heart and the left heart. A card for the lungs with 2 organs, the right and left lung. Another card with a zone that includes the liver and the pancreas, so 2 spots total. Another card with a zone consisting of the stomach, the small intestines, and the large intestine, so 3 organs. And the last zone is the kidneys with 2 organs, the left and the right kidney. The zones are important to understand because you score points for controlling a zone or by having a virus in each organ spot of that zone. Each player will also start with 5 starting mutation cards that give the type of action that you will be performing. And in the first phase, players choose 1 zone card and 1 mutation card to pair together to create their action. Basic migration allows you to place a new virus in the zone shown on your chosen zone card, and then using the paths on the board lets you move 1 virus twice or 2 viruses once. When the action has a blue box, it takes place in the location shown on your zone card, and when it does not have a blue box, the action can be performed anywhere on the board. Basic reproduction allows you to place 2 new viruses on your chosen zone. Basic attack will let you add a new virus in your chosen zone and attack another virus located in your zone by removing it from the organ and giving it back to that player. Basic resilience lets you add a new virus to your chosen zone, and the shield lets you flip over 2 of your virus tokens to their shield side. Now, whenever they are attacked, instead of being removed from the board, they are flipped back over to their normal side. Basic adaptation lets you either attack or add a new virus to the chosen zone, and then you can either move a virus token or flip a token to its shield side. And the actions listed on these cards can be played in any order. Again, these are the basic actions, and you will be gaining cards with additional actions as the game goes on. When playing the game, I would recommend going over each mutation card and what it does as they come out, so players know that they might want that card or maybe they don't, depending on what's available. Now, these cards are gained anytime a player gains points and passes over that icon that shows a card to the hand icon with that number shown on that track. So 4 additional cards will be gained throughout the game while you score. Players all choose their 2 cards that they want to play, matching 1 zone card with 1 mutation card, and then in turn order actions are performed. Then players will do a second action pairing another zone card with another mutation card. These will be placed on the top of their player board and you won't be able to use them for the next round. Instead, after the second round, players will take the cards used in the first round back into their hands and place the cards used in the second round above their player board. This will continue as the game goes on, so you can't use the same zone over and over again or the same action over and over again. You will need a round for a break before you get it back into your hand to perform it again. while placing out viruses while performing actions. If an organ ever gets 3 or more virus tokens placed on it, then a crisis occurs. And the topmost crisis token is placed on that organ. And this is important because later in the round, when that crisis is activated, it will kill all viruses on that organ. But it also grants players points. The player with the most will gain 2 points, and all other players will gain 1. If you are shielded, then you will flip your token back to the normal side. If this is done early in the phase, you might be able to have time to perform an action, to move or change how things are better situated for your viruses. However, even though a crisis will wipe out the virus tokens, it also awards those players with points. Phase 2 is the research phase. Players are aiming to have control of each zone, and whoever has control of a zone will gain the points and the research shown on that zone. This step will determine who controls each zone. Ties are determined by whoever is highest on the tiebreaker table. The points are awarded to those players, and you will move up that many spaces for your research as well. If a player gets to the top of the research track, it will trigger a cure and wipe out all tokens of that virus. Phase 3 is the event, where you will perform the event shown on the card. After performing that event, you will then discard it and reveal the next card so players can prepare for it. Phase 4 is the immune response. The patient's immune system is going to do everything it can do to stop the spread of the viruses. Too many viruses in an organ will trigger a crisis, which will activate the immune systems to remove those viruses. So each crisis token is then resolved in order, and the player with the most viruses scores 2 points in that area. Each other player will score 1 point, and then remove all viruses unless they have a shield, and then return the crisis token back to the crisis area. Remember to use the tiebreaker table when you are determining who scores points. Phase 5 is the cure phase. If the doctors can find a cure for a virus, then they will use it to cleanse the virus from the patient. If a player's token is on top of the research chart, then a cure for that virus has been found. That player removes all of the viruses from their board except those with a shield, and then their research token is placed at the bottom of the research chart. Phase 6 is the end of the round phase, where the tiebreaker track is reset. The player with the most points will be placed at the bottom of the chart, and the player with the least amount of points will be on the top, being able to win all ties for the next round, which is pretty good. Also, all viruses that were absorbed are released out in this phase. This is one action that you will learn as you will play the game. Players will continue these steps, performing 6 rounds total, playing 2 sets of 2 cards in the first phase, and performing those actions, moving up points for controlling zones and gaining research for controlling those zones as well, performing the event, resolving all crisis tokens, performing any cures, and then organizing the tiebreaker table again. At the end of round 6, players will add up their score to add to their score marker. You will add to your score marker 1 point for each zone where you have at least 1 virus present, and points from your newly acquired mutation cards. The player then, with the most points, wins the game. And, well, that is Viral. And I gotta say, as someone who works their day job in medicine, more specifically the heart, this is a pretty good game. It's like if you are a lawyer, and you probably don't watch lawyer shows, but if you did, because they are not realistic, you wouldn't like them. Doctors have the same thing with doctor shows in medicine. Well, medical shows are just ridiculous, and I gotta say, this game isn't. It makes sense to me. Now, it's more of a game than, explaining how infections work, but I think that they do a pretty good job verifying things and having good knowledge of organs and how the body works. This game is really easy to learn and explain, as the phases are right there on the board, so everyone knows what to do next and can see everything visually to further strategize how to win the game. I like how players will gain cards to get better actions, and the actions can be powerful and not grant as many in-game points, where other cards might not be as powerful but will do some other things and then grant them some in-game points. Someone really wanted the game balanced, and for me, this time will tell if it is indeed balanced or not, but I can see the effort put in. Overall, the game is all about the best way that you can use your cards to manipulate the board, to battle for organs and infect zones for this poor patient. Players will gain new actions pretty quickly and will feel like the game progresses with these new actions as they come. The game does let those who want to strategize do so, while leaving the other players who don't want to still play the game and enjoy the game, but still make the things rough for the other players that are trying to strategize. At time, you will have a move planned, and depending on where you are in turn order, the board can completely change before your eyes, before it even gets to your turn. And so it's fun to see those changes when others have, some unique actions that they're performing. The only thing I feel bad about in this game is not knowing or playing it before now. The theme is right up my alley for me. I had a great time teaching it to my kids to play with me. They thought it was fun, and I had also a good feel of, teaching and showing them the organs of the body and seeing, how viruses mutate and challenge our bodies to get sick. Again, this is Brody with Let's Table It, where we get games to the table. Please like and subscribe to our channel. We are new and working hard to bring you videos like this so you know if these games are ones that you want to table on your own table.